Hi, I'm Lynn from LynnieCDesigns. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in West Sussex in the UK, and I'm coming on to recreate this 5x7 birthday card that I made. It was one of the projects for my August classes, and I always like to do these videos just so that I can remember what I made, and also there's a reference for my friends that come to class. So I have used my favourite, the Layers of Beauty bundle, stamp set, 9 stamps and coordinating dies. You get 11 dies in this set. I'm just using this little one because you can just cut out, die cut a single rose, which I've done here to highlight. The Happy Birthday was created with the Wanted to Say dies. These are fabulous. They're in the annual catalogue. There are, well, I can't see 14 dies, but they're rather lovely. So you have got the words and then an outline die, as you can see here. So there's Happy Birthday, Celebrate, Feel Better Soon, and You're Too Kind. So they create the cutout words, and you've got a background if you want it, plus some little elements. So there's a flower, a parcel and ribbon, stem, hearts, and stars. So that's a really versatile set. I love using those. So let's just pop that off to one side. This was basically, I do like making slightly bigger cards. It was just repeat stamping and then colouring with our watercolour pencils. On here I used Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, and not sure what I used for the pink. I might have Melon Mambo. So I'm keeping with the same bases. I've already cut out the outline. We've got a base of Granny Apple Green. This is, what does this measure? This measures 10 inches by 7 inches, and it's scored at 5 inches. I've got a layer of black, basic black, which is just slightly shorter, so that there's a small border round, and then we have a layer of basic white. Now I have just put 2 layers of basic white, one for the inside, one for the front, which is what we're going to stamp. You could, if you wanted, also put basic black on the inside, but I'm quite frugal. Had I not already had this, I would probably have die cut the background for my words out of this, because once you've got this on top, who would know? And then I've got a quarter of a sheet, and that is just for stamping and die cutting Happy Birthday. But I think I spotted in here that I already have a Happy Birthday. So let me just pop that out. We'll use those. I did actually use some adhesive sheets which on the back of that piece of basic white, so that actually turns that into a sticker, which is really helpful. So we'll just get straight on and do some stamping. So I've got the stamp on a big block so that I can do some repeat stamping. I was rather sad. I took this off, been on the block, and I took it off rather quickly by this, and I broke it. But luckily you can see exactly where it's been, and I can just stick it on when I'm using it. So do be careful when you've got a large stamp like this. it is possible to pull them apart. Not that you mean to. Yeah, let's just make sure that that is properly inked up. And then I'm just going to fill the page. So I always think it's quite nice to come off the edge when you're doing this, because it looks almost as if you've cut up some designer series paper. I'm going to come in there, and I have got the little tiny stamps. So you've got this, this, this and this. There's 4 little stamps that help you fill in if you've got any gaps that you're not happy about. So we will come in there. So look, there's a bit, should have maybe filled that in there, but it doesn't matter. Now there we go. I haven't stamped that very well. I wonder if I can go back in. I don't know why this is, my computer's dinging at me for some reason. Not sure why. Let's see if I can go back in. If I haven't got it right, then I can always turn it over. Nope, not quite right. You can see the double line, so we'll turn that over. Let's start again. The trouble with the slightly bigger stamps, you just have to make sure you've got proper coverage the first time when you're doing this. It's alright if you've got it on a stamping platform, but if you're not using a stamping platform and you're doing it like this, you just have to make sure that you're pressing hard enough, that you've got enough ink on the stamp. You know, count to 3 so that you know that it's you're giving enough time for the ink to go onto the cardstock. And every time you do this, it will look slightly different because you're stamping it, you know, whichever way. That's what I love about handmade cards. They are completely individual. You do that very well. Look, put that on there. So just going to come in off that edge, and then we will clean that. And then we've got some of these little flowers. just looks like you're extending it. So that, I think, come on, one more of those, fill that space in there. Do we need any other leaves? I don't think we do. That will be lovely. So the only thing left to do is on our little scrap of card, just ink up the single rose there. Yeah. Ooh, only just, but there is enough there. We will be able to die cut that out. So I'm going to colour them in first though. So I am using our watercolor pencils to colour these in, and I've speeded up the video because I didn't really think you would enjoy watching me do it in real time. But you can see here I'm using Flirty Flamingo. In fact, all of the colours I'm using are from our assortment number 2 watercolor pencil pack. There's 10 colours. There's the first assortment has 13 colours, but I'm using Flirty Flamingo just around the edges of the roses, and then I'm using a Wink of Stella brush, using it really like a blender pen to push out that colour. And I love doing it this way because it adds lots of lovely shine to your image. You do have to remember to brush off the in-between, and I must have had a bit of colour on that Wink of Stella brush, so I'm just adding in. That's the beauty, you can add in more pink, and I'm afraid it doesn't really show on the video, but they're lovely soft pink, these roses. Anyway, then I'm using Granny Apple Green on the foliage, and I'm not colouring in the whole thing, I'm just using the lines in the stamped image to add the colour, and then using the Wink of Stella brush to pull the colour out, so you've got some variation. What I tend to do is I do tend to do all of one colour in one go, so you can see here I'm doing all of the foliage, and then I'm using the Wink of Stella brush just to push out and fill in those leaves. Sure, I missed a few and I need to come back in, but this is a good way, and then you can clean your brush off in between, and then coming round and putting the pink Floaty Flamingo on all of the rose images on the card front. And you don't have to be an artist to do this, just use the lines of the image that you've stamped, and you'll find it's a really effective way to add just a little bit of subtle colouring to that stamped image. As I say, this stamp set is just beautiful. They are. I forgot to do the green on my individual rows, colouring it off, wiping off the colour, and then using it on all of the roses. But you don't need to see me colouring all of them. And then I'm coming in with Gorgeous Grape. I'm a purple girl, so there's always a bit of purple on, if I can fit it in, there's always a bit of purple on my cards. So just filling in all of the little flowers just to give it a little pop of purple. And then again, using the Wink of Stella just to flesh that out. And now with this kind of thing, you know, you can leave some white spaces. I love the fact that all of the flowers are a slightly different colour. That's what nature's all about, hey? So it was at this point that I wondered what to do with the center of my flowers, and in the end I decided to use crushed curry, just to add a little tiny little bit of yellow to the center of those little flowers. So here I am testing it just to check what it looks like, and then just quickly coming in. I don't even think I used the Wink of Stella on those. Here we go. So I'll bring in my little Stampin' Emboss, my mini, which is good enough to use to had I not had these pre-cut. And I'm just gonna, let's see, I ummed and ahed here about whether to tape down the die, but decided to just go for it in the end. Risk it rather than tape it, which I could have done, and it's come out perfectly. Sometimes you just have to be brave. I'm going to mount that on my black. And it's cut 1/8 of an inch shorter, these white bits, so the black is 4 7/8 and the white is 4 3/4, and that is just 6 7/8 and 6 3/4. So what I'm going to do, because it's nice just to give a bit of dimension, is I'm going to get some large dimensionals. Pop those up. I'm going to try, let's see, let's get these up. This, I have shared some other projects with this bundle. It is a firm favourite. I'm going to pop it that way up, and I will leave some links to those projects so that you can see what I've done. Give you some more inspiration. It's just so beautiful. I've got lots more ideas, so hopefully that will work. I will use my silicone mat just to adhere these to the backing. Let's get all those little bits out. Oh, I actually don't need to do that, do I? Because I said I'd put them, I think I put some adhesive sheet on the back. Did. Use the adhesive sheet in a class for some snowflakes, and it did not go well. In fact, that might be my next video, will be a very simple one sheet wonder that I did. There we go. So we'll see if we can save that for something else. We'll put some dimensionals on the back of this. Should have got my black dimensionals out, shouldn't I? Still, doesn't matter. There we go. They fit perfectly. We'll pop that off to one side, and then we will pop this up with dimensionals as well. And we'll pop it off to one side there, and then we will use some white ribbon to do a bow. What I'm going to do, it's got different designs either side, so I'm going to do bunny ears, which I don't normally do. That's a good way if you've got a directional ribbon. Quite a good way of keeping the same side of the ribbon on show. And then we'll pop that on with a glue dot. Move that up a bit so that I can pop that there. There we go. And I'm not sure, I don't think it needs anything else actually. We use some sequins there, so let's have a look. Nope, can't find them. I'll leave those as they are. So I will come back and finish that off. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.